classic Duke Aloha spirit. If I don't embody that, unfriend me, because I don't ever want to lose that. My name is Matt Vasquez. I'm a surfer from townside of Oahu. I live in Liliha, and I'm currently the new store manager here at Santa Loco. I started around 5 years old. I was kind of instantly hooked at that point, but I didn't really start pursuing progressive longboarding, kind of cross-stepping and nose riding till I was about 13. And that was totally due to the fact that I started to see the surfers at Queens and Waikiki, and I was just fascinated. Longboarding is unique in many ways, but I think longboarding is an experience of rhythm and instinct. And, through that, every maneuver and nose ride is a chance to announce one's style. And I feel like longboarding is a dance, which I've heard so many people say, and it totally is, because you're always moving your feet. And I just think the best longboarders are the ones that are not really trying, They're totally just on flow. But it's so unique because coming from a performance standpoint, you're thinking about attacking the wave in each section, but longboarding switches that mindset and mentality, and it's kind of showing you like this is what you can and cannot do, because the wave's only giving you so much. You don't have that same drive. To me, it's just total rhythm, and you just can't do whatever you want whenever you want. That's, to me, so unique. It's a dance. Totally alternative boards. Alt boards are like an art. It's gonna push you to clean up your style. You're gonna start to see the wave in a different perspective, and alt boards lean more with the flow. 70% the wave, 30% you. You don't make all the calls. The wave's kind of showing you this is what you can and cannot do. Alt boards for the win, yeah. Biggest piece of advice: learn the basics like the back of your hand. It makes everything in the future so much easier. And I feel like people tend to want to jump the gun because, for me, back when I started, you look at people like Toots from Waikiki that are just levitating out of this world on the nose, sitting down, doing hang hills, But that's not what your first goals are. The first goals is learning how to pop up, learning even where to sit in a lineup. And I think a lot of people are just kind of blowing past that, and then they end up stunning their growth for 4 years, So basics, basics, basics. I'm gonna lean custom all the way. If you're thinking about getting a custom board, you totally should. And the reason why I say that is, for somebody like me, I have a lighter and thinner build, so off the rack boards weren't really doing justice for me. And the whole process that you get with building a custom board with a shaper is super awesome, because you get to give your input and hear input. And I think that also helps to propel your skill, because then you hear some pieces of advice that you might never hear from somebody else. It really boosts your skill level. I recommend getting a custom board as soon as possible. I think the betterment and development of surfing is always such an addictive thing to get into, but paddling out every morning, especially at the crack of dawn, just seeing the sun rising over Diamond Head, I think that to me is like what captivates me the most, because as much as I would think it's gonna get old, it never does. Just rhythm and flow is something you can't really find in many other sports. My shaper is Brent Clem, B Clem Surfboards. It's called the Billy Duke. I ride it in a 9.5. It's got 60/40 rail, and Brent likes to shape with kind of like a downturned rail, which I actually really like. I think it glides along the water really nice and really helps with nose riding. Kind of go for a more classic feeling. I lean more on the thicker side of boards than I do thinner. I like a squash tail or a rounded squash tail, and I'm always been a pivot guy. My style tends to be more hard on the tail and straight to the nose. Especially surfing bowls a lot, kind of got to go, go, go. So if you're going to nose ride the outside part of the wave, you want somebody that's going to hold you and lock you in, not slide down the face. So that's my go-to combo. I actually decided to do a 9.5 just because I wanted to be funky over the 9.2s, 9.4s, and 9.6s. So I just kind of wanted to see if 9.5 was going to be any different, and it wasn't. An inch didn't really make that much of a difference. 9.5 is going to be my go-to just because I kind of started that trend for myself, but I think 9.6 is where it's at. To me, the number one longboard misconception is that nose riding is everything. To me, it's not. And I think true surfing is being balanced in all aspects. And I feel like nowadays we have this whole culture of nose ride specific boards, of people riding 10 feet in front of the whitewash. A lot of people who are getting into surfing or who don't know any better are applauding that. Really, it's about having your whole repertoire in the pocket, and that's the most committed form of longboarding. People gotta kind of get more into the progressiveness of it and being an actual surfer and not just a nose rider,
So she drinks lemonade, I drink lit. So chop up ball and say your sister. Chop up ball and say your sister. I can get caught looking bitches not in my system. She drinks.